Well guys, how's it going today? So we pulled the big guns out for the stinking trail because I just wasn't really too happy with the Harrow. I just didn't think it was doing a good enough job. So finally got the CB working again. It kept losing power all the time. I think it was just a loose the bolt that you use to clamp the terminal to the post on your battery. You can't really get it tight enough because then you can't take it on and off as you need to. So I kind of swapped the wires around, I swapped my power wire around and wedged it between a nut that you would use to tighten it and a washer. So that way I could crimp the wire tighter without actually tightening the clamp. Now normally you would want these clamps tight, obviously, so they don't come loose when you're running the tractor. But we disconnect these batteries so much and then we take them out for the winter. We don't leave them in permanently, so there's no sense of really tightening the clamps down. Yeah, you want them tight so you get a good connection, but I get a good connection no matter what, so I don't really bother doing that. I just leave them loose. Tight enough though that you can, if you turn in a certain way, you can kind of actually like wedge it, and that seems to be holding just fine. So maybe you can hear the CB squealing in the background. Now I worked up the trail with the big tractor, obviously. I don't know how much longer I'm going to fucking be able to do that because these trees are growing over the trail. And I don't have a bucket truck or anything like that to trim these freaking things back. That's what I need to get. That's what I need to invest in, I guess, is a stupid bucket truck. There was one going for sale not too far from here. It was a used one. The guy said that he bought it, used it for the summer, and I guess for a couple of projects, and then he got those projects done, so now he's selling the truck. So the truck would have been perfect down here. Would have been absolutely perfect. The little Farmall, the little A, yeah, it doesn't turn the dirt like this. Like, this is some really nice dirt now. So I was actually able to turn it deeper, so this dirt's actually a little bit colder and it's got a little bit of moisture to it. But this dirt's so damn nice. You could seed something in here. Like if you smooth it out and then you could seed something in here, something for, like, for I guess the deer, or you could just plant some kind of a grass down here, so that way you could just mow it. But now I'm going to have to smooth this out because this is way too rough now. But I'll let it sit for tonight. Let it dry out a little bit more. And then we'll fire the A back up. And we'll use the little A, or the A, and then my Trail Smoother 5000 down here. So, see now, when you're on the little tractor, those branches are not a problem. But when you're with the 1586 and you got a cab, I smack them. And I got to be careful too, because I don't want to bust my CB antenna off. That's a brand new CB antenna, so I don't want to bust it off. And since it's a 5-foot version, it's a lot taller than like a 4-foot. So, see now, like right here, this is where all the weeds got pulled up with the big cultivator. The little John Deere, or the little spring tooth Harrow never could do that. It pulled them right up by the root. This is why I like this cultivator so much. It's such a good tool for down here. But I got too much tractor on it though. And then the real problem, another problem, is right here. Again, I got low hanging trees, and these are they're just slowly growing out. Every year they're getting a foot longer. So here's another set right here, right there, smacking the cab. I'm gonna bust my antenna, and I don't want to bust my exhaust pipe off because I am not buying a whole new goddamn muffler and exhaust system. That's bad enough I got to buy one for the A. I don't have any off on, so the bugs are gonna piss me off, but yeah, so this has got a lot of moisture in it, so this needs a couple days to dry. If I would have turned this first thing in the morning, it would have been dry by now, but I'm not much of a morning person, so that's why I don't get things done until late in the evening. So my uncle's a morning person. He'll get up nice and early and do what he's got to do until it gets too hot, and then he'll quit for the rest of the day, and then around 7 or 8 he'll go back at it because it's getting cooler out. But once these weeds die, then you won't even know it. So, but this looks, and over here, I'm getting in a little bit further. I honestly think I went a little bit further than even last year. There's a perfect time when to do this. So that's all new stuff I just knocked down. And I don't know if I was this far over last year. I mean, the plans are to, with time, make this trail wider than, even right here, I could go a whole another full cultivator length. And that's what, a 8-foot, 9-foot cultivator. So you'd get in there a lot further. But it would be a lot nicer with a tractor without a damn cab. That, or I got to get a bucket truck. And yeah, they're both kind of right around the same price range too. I wouldn't need anything fancy for a bucket truck. Not for what I would use it for. Oh no, it's got a leaking hydraulic hose. Fuck, go replace it. Truck's perfectly fine then. No AC, don't need it. Heat, don't even need that. I mean, the truck's probably going to run for like an hour out of the whole freaking year, and that's it. Just to trim tree branches every year. That's it. That's all I'd ever use it for. So I'm not going to go buy a brand new truck, not going to happen. But yeah, because this dirt's really loose now, so you wouldn't want to bring a truck down here. You'd freaking roll it, easily. So you'd have to do it kind of, I guess, let the grass grow in. Let the grass grow in. That way you get more stable, and then do what you got to do. This tree branch probably could get trimmed back, but it ain't horrible, but it's getting to that point. So, walked right into a damn cobweb or something. I don't know what the hell that was. So, but yeah, once this dries, because walking on it right now, it's nice and soft and fluffy. Because there's a lot of air in here now, it's all loosened up. But once I get my Trail Smoother 5000 on it, it might harden it again, but it will it'll knock these ridges down, which is what I'm going for. Because if you try to walk on these ridges, you could roll your ankle, and that's the end of it. So, you can really smell the turned dirt. Now, when I came down here with a little harrow, I wasn't smelling that fresh turned dirt thing. It just wasn't happening. So, but yeah, it looks really nice. Once I get it, let it air out or dry out, get the Trail Smoother on it, it'll look real nice. I wish I could make it a little bit wider, and I would. One, tree branches have to get trimmed back. Two, I would have to put a dual on. I mean, I don't really need to go any wider than this really anyway, because this is easily, like, easily 2 4-wheelers could get by easily. 2 pickups, you might be stretching it, but you could do it probably. So, but no, this looks real nice now. I always liked using that big cultivator, even though it's hard to get that tractor down here, mostly because of the trees. If those trees were to get the hell out of here, I wouldn't really have a problem. I still think I'd prefer a tractor without a cab for this. So I may be on the hunt for one in the next couple of years. I don't know. So, because it's time for a tractor without a cab. Another 400 would be all right, but I kind of want maybe like a 966 or something like that, you know. So, yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of chunks and stuff here. So if you let the chunks dry out, they'll probably bust up real easy when you go over it with the Trail Smoother 5000. And if anybody's wondering what that is, I'm sure most of you guys know by now. It's just a fucking pallet with it's got like a 15 gallon water jug tied to it, and I put about 3-4 gallons of water in it, and then I just pull it behind whatever. Last year I used Big Red, the 4-wheeler, and it was doing all right. The problem is that Big Red was on limited battery, so that's why I was going to put it on the little A. So, yeah. So now here's like a hard pan, or like wherever the shovel went, or the shank, whatever you want to call it, and it's like it made a hard pan there. But yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're never gonna plant nothing down here. But like I said, the only reason why I do this is, one, this is what it was like when I was a little kid, but a lot nicer. This is pretty close to what the other guy did when he used to hunt down here. This is what he did. He maintained this trail so he could hunt down here. So he was real nice. So I'm trying to recreate that, but now I need a smoother. And that's when I made that Trail Smoother 5000, just out of a pallet, but that's not going to last forever. But I do have to make another harrow for at the farmyard, or at the pasture. The cows have really been pooping in there again. And I have to make a harrow. I ain't buying one, too expensive. And yeah. So I got a really long board. It's a really heavy board. I don't know, it must be at least 10 feet wide, or 10 feet long. And I got some old fencing. I'm going to staple the fencing to that board. I got some fencing staples. I think I got like 1.5 inch staples. And I'll just pound them into that board. And then here's some more branches. They're dead though. They need to come down. I think this tree's slowly dying anyway. I'm going to staple that wire to the board. And then I'm going to put, I guess, like some car tires or something on it for weight, because we got plenty of those floating around. That'll push the wire into the ground, and that'll bust up the cow pies. So that's got to be done here in the next, I guess, week or so. So, but there's a tree here. He's been a leaner for years, but you can tell he's slowly getting worse. I think he's really leaned a lot since last year. So it needs to come down, or you could just let it come down on its own. Either way, it's fine. Let's see this big leaner right here. There's actually 2 of them here and here, but this is the worst one. But it looks like down there at the stump, it looks like it's almost starting to split. So it may be just to let it come down on its own, because it might want to barb its hair on you, because now it's going to be under so much tension now. And last time I was down here with the little harrow, I never did bust out the middle, so the weeds were coming in really good. Now you can see, because now for here I got to back up. Obviously I can't do that with that spring tooth harrow. It's always forward no matter what. If you got to back up, well, then you got to unhook it. So this was nice. That's what's nice about that big collar, is you can lift it up, back up, and then drop it, and then go. Or go and then drop it, because you got to have rotation to drop them. I went a little bit wider here. A little bit wider here. Same with the little tractor when I had it down here. I went a little bit wider because there's nothing here. So why not just make it more of a space to turn around? Now I would like to be able to go all the way through here. Go up the hill and then out. Right up to the end of a property line. But it's so steep there that I'm not doing that with that 1586. A 966 or something like that with a dual on, or even both duals, I guess, whatever, would be capable of handling that just fine. A 400 could probably handle it fine too, but most 400s never had duals, and if they did have duals, they were clamp-ons, and I don't want clamp-on duals, I want bolt-on. That way you can kind of get spacing too. If I needed to have it set out a little bit wider, I could do that. It's the same with the 15. Those are bolt-on duals, so I could space all that out as far as I wanted. So, but you can see how nice it looks. I mean, you still see some weeds here and there, but that's because they didn't actually get buried. You would have to probably go over it multiple times, but for how messed up they are now, they're not going to come back. They're going to die. So, they'll die. Fucking mosquitoes. They'll die. They'll rot. And then they'll just become part of the dirt next time I turn it. So, but yeah. So, what do you think? It looks like shit now, but that's because it's got all these ridges. Like I said, I got to come down here with the Trail Smoother 5000, smooth it out. Which I'll do that with the A, even though it runs like shit. It runs for a while. Perfectly fine, but yeah. So, got some more branches here that need to be trimmed. They're just little things, but I still don't want to hit them. Actually, I could just take the whole fucking tree down. Look how small it is. Look how small it is. So I could just cut it the whole thing down, and I'm going to do that. I think I could do that this year. Yeah. See, this one's probably it's going to do the same thing eventually, but it's a little bit bigger, but they're all within a manageable size. So yeah, I want to do that. I want to cut that son of a bitch down. I wish I could do it to the rest of these stupid trees, the ones that are super close to the trail. But then as you cut them down, get rid of the stumps, well then you're going to want to make the trail stinking wider. See, I could be a lot wider right here. I want to get right up to the trees. Again, low hanging branches. So, and look at here. Yeah. A tree is growing here. See that? Look at that. So he got effed up. So he's still attached to the ground. But if you run him over enough times, he'll give up. So you gotta maintain your trails. I always say go bigger than what you need, because there might be a year where maybe you don't get down here, or you just don't have the time to maintain it. If you go wide enough, that can buy you even a couple of years. So, but like I said, the reason why I do this is one, to have it to the way it was back in the day. But then second of all, is so we can ride down here in freaking peace. Now, I know you guys are like, what do you mean by that? When you did not do anything with the grass, not really the grass so much, but the weeds, there was a really bad weed problem here in this trail. I think I'm burying a lot of it, so that's why this just looks like grass. But the weeds, they're mostly down there on the north now because I can't turn that, so they stay down there. But they get over your head. I'm talking like 10 feet tall. And then a lot of them, they put off seeds, but it's like powder. It's real fine seeds. That makes a mess of everything, especially Big Red. And then you just really can't see where you're going, especially if you haven't been on it for a while. So yeah, I would like to go all the way to the bitter end, maybe one day. Should probably either get them out, we need to get the hill knocked down or something, or fill up that one low spot to get it more reasonable. And then I could have popped a tire, but yeah. And I know, I can't remember, I know it was 366 you were talking about. I don't remember what video. You were talking about some really old trees, I guess, on your property. Well, I don't know, you got something like that? Yeah, there's a big mother humper for you. I know it's getting kind of a bulge on it now. I never had that last year. I think this is officially the largest tree on this farm. We have another one like that, somewhere up in there. Not as big as this though. So this tree is the oldest tree on, I think it's the oldest tree on this farm. Now I don't really know what trees are original to the property, because a long time ago my grandma actually bought some trees, and I think she was going to put them in the yard for looks, but then it never happened. They actually ended up planting them down here, but where exactly, I don't know. She doesn't remember what trees are what now, and I'm never going to know. The only way you would know is you would have to have it stamped with something. You would have had to burn something into it or something. I don't know. You would have had to keep marking it so you know what is what. But trees are trees, right? So nobody really cares. But that's the largest tree on this farm. We have another tree like that in the farmyard, but it's not as tall and it's not quite as thick, but it is still a big tree. That is the biggest tree on this farm, I think. And I don't plan on ever taking it down. I hope it survives, well, at least the rest of my life anyway. Because, you know, this is all slowly getting eaten away. So eventually that tree's going to fall down, but, yeah. So, I don't know, she's been through a hell of a lot, though. Yeah. It was even through that 97 flood. That was the worst flood on record. It didn't even do nothing to that fucking tree. So, look at that. More trees trying to grow. You see? That's what they're going to do. They're going to start taking over this fucking trail. So you got to go wider than what you really think. So that way, if you don't get down here for a year or two, well, then you're good. You can just go through here if you have to or whatever, you know. Maybe you drive your equipment through here to get from one field to the next, or I don't know. For me, it's just a joyride down here. And to get some freaking peace and quiet, even though there's a town right over there, but some nights, you know, it's quiet over there, so all you hear is wind. Yeah, every now and then you'll hear a truck or something, or there's a tree root. See that, like these two trees, they're dead. Take them down. I mean, they're going to come down eventually anyway. Just take them down and get rid of them. So, but this tree fell down from this year's flood. So I had to trim it back a little bit just to get it out of here. It needs to be trimmed further back, but you're not going much further over there anyway, because there is a ditch down in there, and I don't plan on ever doing anything with that ditch. Same thing in there. I could fill it. Yeah, here's this other large tree. Yeah, you're not going to see it probably as good. I've never been up to it personally. This tree, I honestly don't think it's as tall as the other one, but it is pretty damn thick. I think that's really the only two big trees on this whole area. If you want other big trees, well, then you got to go into the actual yard. You'll find a couple of big ones there. Nothing to this. But yeah, it's amazing how big. I don't even know how old those freaking trees are. They got to be well over 100 years old. I think a lot of trees can live to be 300 years old. We ain't living that long. I don't know what I would, if I want to look at myself when I'm 300 years old, there ain't gonna be nothing left of me. There'll be fucking bones. So, just a tree root again. So, but yeah, lots of little trees and stuff. Again, you need a bucket truck to trim these. They're so busty tall, they would never fall right if they did, if you tried to cut them down. So they would have to come down on their own, and you have to pray that they land all the way on the ground. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'll take off. I'm just going to try to make it back to the tractor. I'm running out of freaking air. It is hard to walk on this dirt. That's why I do what I do. But it's kind of muggy out too, so every time I breathe in, I think my lungs just get full of water, and then it's hard to breathe. So I need to get into the air conditioning and suck some dry air, get my lungs to dry out. Of course, I'm wearing blue jeans and work pants, so I'm hot and I'm sweaty. Could have just wore, I guess, my comfy clothes, but I don't want to get them all freaking dirty because I ain't got another good pair of comfy pants. Well, I guess I do, but I don't really care for the bottom of them. But I guess going and getting the mail or something, that's another thing I gotta freaking do. Gotta go get my mail. Forgot. This time it was the kid, the young guy. Usually he does Saturdays. He did today. I don't know what happened to the girl. She could have called in sick, I guess, or maybe she quit. I don't know. Maybe she just didn't like her job. I mean, I get to being a mail person. It's not the funnest job in the world. No, but it does put food on your table at least. Probably not a lot, but it's better than being fucking homeless. So, now the tractor's still running. Hasn't burned to the ground, I guess. I had my uncle charge the batteries back up on that tractor because it had sat for quite a few weeks with the batteries hooked up. And I told my uncle, well, go check them. He says they were about half dead. So obviously you are powering some stuff in that tractor. And the CB is one of them. But I'm going to disconnect them when I'm done. Yeah, my CB is going to lose its memory, but I don't really need that. I could just write it down on a piece of paper or something, and stick it to the CB radio so I remember what channel I need to be on when I use it. We're obviously still not using CB radios 100% yet because I got to get one on Big Red, get one in the Tahoe, and then I could be officially using CBs again instead of the stupid little walkie-talkies that keep freaking dying after 3 hours. So, but yeah. Well, nobody took off with the tractor. Of course, I guess we ain't going very far with it. But, yeah, I'll come down here with the trail smoother. 5,000, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Let's just air out a little bit. And then, probably won't videotape any of that. Oh, I can feel a nice breeze. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, there was no wind yesterday. It was miserable. So hot, so muggy. Oh, this feels nice. And of course now I smell diesel fuel. That smells quite good too. Better than smelling the cow shit. Probably not good for your lungs though, but whatever. See, like right here, this is the number one tree that pisses me off. Because this branch broke a couple of years ago. See it hanging here? It's hanging. So look at what I can't work up. Now, clean this up. I could go over it with a little tractor. It'd be fine. But that cultivator is what actually buries everything. The little one doesn't bury anything really. So you'd have to get up there with a bucket truck, cut it off, let it fall to the ground, clean it up, and then there you go. That's what I want to do. I don't even know what it would cost to rent one. I would only need one for a day. But I don't know what they would charge for a whole day. So again, it just be just trim branches and call it job done. So, and then sometime this summer, it won't be anytime soon. And here I got a trail as well, but you can see it's all buried in trash and it's all flooded down there still. So I'm not even going to worry about this for a while. We probably won't get in here until August. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. I want to go home, get something to drink, something to eat, and maybe watch a YouTube video or two, and then I guess find something else to do for fun. By the time I get done with everything else, the sun will be down. So, but yeah. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.